it's me, the ukulele teacher, here to teach you how to play Un Poco Loco from Coco. So, grab your uke. Make sure it's in tune, and if you need help tuning your uke, then be sure to download my free app, the Ukulele app, right now. And when it is in tune, your uke should sound like this. Before we go any further, please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more lessons like this one, and make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. To start off with, I'm just going to play through the song very, very quickly to give you a rough idea of how it should sound when you've learned it. What color's the sky? Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. You tell me that it's red. Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. Where should I put my shoes? Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. You say put them on your head. Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. You make me un poco loco, un poquitito loco. The way you keep me guessing, I'm nodding and I'm yesing. I'll count it as a blessing that I'm only un poco loco. The loco that you make me is just un poco crazy. The sense that you're not making the liberties you're taking leaves my cabeça shaking. You're just un poco loco, un poquitito loco. These are the chords that you'll need for the song. If you already know them, then skip ahead now. To play the chord of D, put your first, second and third fingers on the second fret of the fourth, third and second strings. And the chord of D should sound like this. To play the chord of G, put your first finger on the second fret of the third string, your second finger on the second fret of the first string, and your third finger on the third fret of the second string. And the chord of G should sound like this. To play the chord of C, put your third finger on the third fret of the first string, and the chord of C should sound like this. To play the chord of A, put your first finger on the first fret of the third string, and your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and the chord of A should sound like this. And to play the chord of E, bar the fourth fret with your first finger. That means you push down on all four strings at the same time, and then add your fourth finger to the seventh fret of the first string. And the chord of E should sound like this. And in verse 2, because you'll be going to that E shape a lot, you might find it easier to play the chord of D by just sliding that whole shape down 2 frets, like this. Now this song starts off with what I call a nice Spanish strum, which is basically just going up and down very, very quickly on the G chord, like this. Now if you're not entirely sure how to do that, the way I do it is by playing the downstrokes with my middle finger, like this, and the upstrokes with my thumb, like this. And I just keep them nice and loose, so I'm strumming like this, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I keep my other fingers nice and loose, so occasionally they'll also catch the strings, like this. And I just start off by playing it nice and slowly, until I can speed up and play it a lot faster. And that's how I play the Spanish strum. Now throughout the rest of the song, I'm playing a nice and jaunty down, up, 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 down, up pattern, like this. Down, up, 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 down, up. And again, I'm just using my middle finger for the downstrokes and the back of my thumbnail for the upstrokes, and keeping all my fingers nice and loose. So in verse 1, all 4 lines are exactly the same. D to G to D to G. And you play the down, up, pattern once on each chord, like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, D, G. So basically, all 4 lines will sound like this. So let's go ahead and play through verse 1 nice and slow. What color's the sky? Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. You tell me that it's red. Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. Where should I put my shoes? Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. You say put them on your head. Ay mi amor, ay mi amor. And that takes us into the chorus. And the first 2 lines of the chorus are just C to D to G. You play the down, up pattern once on the C and D and twice on the G, like this. Down, up, 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 down, up. 1, 1, 1, 2. You make make me un poco loco, un poquitito loco. The way you keep me guessing, I'm nodding and I'm yesing. I'll count it as a... Then for the third line, you just play the chord of D. You play the down, up pattern once, and then play one downstroke like this. I'll count it as a blessing. And then the final line is back to that C to D to G. That I'm only un poco loco. So let's put that all together and play through the chorus. You make me un poco loco, un poquitito loco. The way you keep me guessing, I'm nodding and I'm yesing. I'll count it as a blessing. That I'm only un poco loco. And that takes us straight away into verse 2. The first two lines of verse 2 are D to E to A. And here you play the down, up once on the D and the E and twice on the A, like this. Down, up, 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 1, 1, 1, 2. And then for the third line you just play an E, again one full pattern and one downstroke like this. Leaves my beds a shaking. And then the final line of verse 2 is just the D to E to A again, like this. You are just un poco loco. And then you just repeat that D to E to A pattern one final time for the ending. Un poquitito loco. So let's put that all together and play through verse 2. The loco that you make me is just un poco crazy. The sense that you're not making the liberties you're taking leaves my beds a shaking. You're just un poco loco. Un poquitito loco. So now we've learnt the bulk of the song, let's go ahead and learn that cool riff from the beginning. That's the part at the beginning after the Spanish strum on G that goes like this. Now if you haven't got much fingerpicking experience then this might be quite tough to learn. But don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you nice and slow. However, before we go any further, you will need to know how to read tabs. So if you don't already know, then check out my video here and then come back. Firstly, what I'm going to do is play the riff for you nice and slow. So the first four notes of the riff are just playing the chord of G, strings 3, 2, 1 and 4, like this. Then we keep our first finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and move our second finger down to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And here we play strings 2, 3 and 2, like this. Then we lift both of those fingers up and play strings 2, 3 and 2 again, like this. And then we put our first finger back on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and play it again, like this. So let's put that all together and play through the first half of the riff nice and slow, like this. Then for the second half of the riff, we put our first and second fingers back on the 2nd fret of the 3rd and 2nd strings. We play strings 3, 2 and 1 like this. And then we make the chord of C, and we just play the first string first, and then we play the whole chord like this. Then the rest of the riff is all on the first string. It's open 2, 3, 5 like this. And then we do what's called a hammer-on pull-off, where we play the 3rd string with our right finger, but while that note is still ringing, we quickly hammer on to the 5th fret, and then pull off the 5th fret with our left hand to get a second note from the 3rd fret like this. And then we end on the 2nd fret like this. So the second half of the riff should sound like this. So let's go ahead and play through the riff together nice and slow like this. Don't be afraid to play through it several times over at that speed, or maybe even slower, until you're absolutely confident and comfortable playing all of those notes. Then when you finally got it dialed down, you can start to speed up and play it at full speed. And when you can play the riff at full speed, it should sound something like this. So put that all together, and that's how to play Un Poco Loco from Coco. I've been the ukulele teacher. If you have any requests for future lessons, then let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I love you all, and I wish you the best.